Actually, I did see how to settle disagreements in a healthy way where two adults were able to sit down, have a conversation about it, pray about it, maybe even go to their pastor because my parents were, very religious. They were, Christian based or whatever. So actually, I did see, how to resolve conflict in a relationship. That's one of the reasons why I'm not interested in putting up with cussing, fussing, fighting, throwing things. And not to say that I've never been, you know, guilty of doing anything like that. I'm not saying that at all, but usually that's my cue that it's time to go. Once you're having the same argument over and over and over again, and there's no conflict resolution, like the other party is not interested in going to counseling, they're not interested in having any type of discussion. They're, every time you address something, it becomes an argument or a fight like that. That's when I know that it's time to leave, because I refuse to end up in that cycle for the rest of my life. Like, stress kills. And I have been in situations where, I've had chest pains and, my skin was breaking out and my hair was falling out and those types of things, all because somebody does not want to get on the same page, or they expect you to deal with very toxic things like cheating, emotional abuse, financial abuse. They like to live on the edge by spending up all the money and instead of paying bills, and they want to wear, Gucci and Louis Vuitton and all that type of stuff in lieu of keeping bills paid. And so they go into the account and they take money and they hide it and do things like that. Like, I'm not interested in that because, number one, I didn't see that growing up. And I know that it's possible to not have to go through those things. You know what I'm saying? And when you try to resolve those things through counseling or having conversation, and the other person just insists on, that's their normal. Some people, that is their normal. Like, some people grew up with their lights being cut off and eviction notices on their door. And they grew up with their parents, arguing every night and cussing and yelling and calling each other bitches and hoes and all those types of things. Like, that's not something that I grew up with. So I know that it's not normal. That is not my normal. So when it comes down to that, like, honestly, it's not worth it to me. And I have children. I'm not trying to have them see that all the time. I'm not trying to come to a house where it's not peaceful. And I do keep a peaceful house. And once I see that, okay, there's no resolving this conflict, we're just going to repeat the same cycle over and over again. Like, I'm not interested in suffering or having my kids suffer just because